Who wants to go first? Yes?
Why do some...
No, sit down.
Why do some men act like wild beasts while others become heroes? What makes some men betray their friends and others sacrifice their lives for people they don't even know?
And who can answer that?
People are bad because they are scared and unhappy. And because of this, they can be driven to violence and self-destruction.
Now, there's an interesting subject. Happiness and unhappiness deep down inside of each one of us. Descartes. Man is in the middle between God and nothingness. And he must choose.
We have to teach a philosophical concept based essentially on a human experience rather than a cosmological one, more like what two and two are worth. And the worker says it isn't worth a lot.
That's the political director. That sounds like a philosophical pastime. And yet it's food for thought. Let's have the food.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's my boss. I'm always rocking around in my head in the clouds. Oh, it's you. Art history?
Well, art history would like to buy something to drink. What do you say?
Why not?
I'm doing my doctorate thesis on Piotr Michałowski.
I have no idea who he is.
He's a very famous painter.
And I'm famously ignorant.
Before dying, he painted several pictures of Don Quixote in a frenzy. Mad, strong, desperate. Maria?
Yes?
Am I boring you?
No, not at all.
There are many things we must discuss. The young need positive answers. Now, immediately.
The communists promise young people a new...
Communists promise young people a new, fair and better society. Young people are pure. They want to believe that an ideal world is possible. But we don't promise them heaven on earth.
Am I boring you?
Huh?
What are you looking at?
Sorry. Where do you live?
In Krakow with my aunt.
Oh, that's fantastic. I live in Krakow, too. Is that destiny or what?
Who knows? Destiny's very mysterious. But it always finds its way.
We have to meet Marxism.
We have to meet Marxism on its own terms. The freeing of mankind.
There will be 7 of us going into working-class neighborhoods without churches. And we'll visit any family that needs us.
Good. You've made an admirable decision. But it might be dangerous. Just make sure you are not followed, okay? And Adam, too?
No, not him. He seems a little reluctant.
Adam lives in his world of art. You like Adam, don't you?
I think so.
And he likes you?
I don't know.
How could he not like you? He's an aesthete. He probably likes you to death. At the end of our course, I would like to organize a trip to the mountains with the students.
That's a great idea.
We'll go to the Tatras.
Oh, a premise for your thesis. The moral value of honesty and courage.
I like it. Adam! Adam.
If you're drunk and beat your wife, you can't blame others. It's the loss of self-respect that causes you to harm a person so dear to you.
There's no help, no hope for me, Father.
If that were true, you wouldn't be here.
Believe me, I tried so many times to make amends.
Despite disappointments, you must find love within you. It's the only strength that can change you. The evil of our times consists in a sort of degradation of the human being. Sometimes planned by ideologies or by political or economical systems.
There's been an avalanche 2 kilometers up the track. They are going to stop here.
We have to oppose them by reconstructing the sacred value of man. I'm late. The train from Krakow.
Oh, right. That's why Wojtyła isn't here yet. They all went to get something to eat. Not me, though. I'm sweating the test. I didn't go to classes. I work in Poznan, but I'm trying to study. What's this Wojtyła like? He's a priest, too, right?
Yes.
Is he mean?
Mean? Worse. He's a tyrant. A real tyrant.
Oh, my God. Are you well prepared?
More or less.
Could you explain Max Scheller's polemic against technological society to me?
He opposes the rationalists, who believe that we are able to dominate nature and man.
And?
And for him, the only trust in the world comes from love.
So you're from Poznan too?
Right, yeah. So, I found a classmate of ours who knows his stuff, and he really helped me.
Who is he?
Where did he go?
Witold Brożek.
God help me.
Good luck.
Give me your grade book, Witold.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't know that.
Your grade book. Witold is a student worker. I already tested him. I gave you a good grade. Keep on studying.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Your wings.
You're a poet.
No, not at all. I only know 3 verses of a poem by heart. It's Turkish.
A Turkish poem? In Turkish?
We have yet to say the most beautiful of seas. We have yet to live the most beautiful of days. And I have yet to tell you the most beautiful things I want to say to you.
Don't look at me like that. I get embarrassed. Come on, we're late. We're late.
There is nothing more mysterious and unknown than love. We all have a deep, desperate need of absolute love. And the difference between how we perceive it and how badly we actually live it is a terrible thing. Well, love's not something that can be taught. And yet it's absolutely vital to learn about it. One thing's for sure. Love and sexuality are the most exciting link between mind and nature. But love is also a responsibility. When a man and a woman are united by real love, one takes on the other's destiny and future. as if it were their own. And that can mean a lot of strain and suffering, but that's the only serious way to love. And not by making a game out of it. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Go in peace. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
I'm having trouble with this.
What do you mean?
I can believe in the Father and the Son, but the Holy Ghost, I have a problem with that.
No, but... Karol. Where have you been all these years?
I work in the Cegielski factory in Poznan now.
How are things going?
Badly. I mean, just fine.
Which is it?
Both. Badly because this regime is an insult to socialism. And the people are starving. And fine because I still feel strong and ready to fight. And you know what? I am in love.
You're in love? That's great news. Who is she?
Her name is Magda. She has blue eyes, beautiful. She's a widow.
Are you getting married?
She doesn't want to. She has a small child. We see each other secretly.
Give her time. And take it easy on the beer, okay?
Poland is a slave state. The Russians now run the army and the government. They're bleeding us dry. All their projects are failing. They're turning us into paupers, Karol. We're going to take to the streets of Poznan and let them know how angry we are.
What good will that do?
You're on the government side?
I'm just afraid of the consequences. I don't want to cry for martyrs anymore.
Don't worry. They're not going to start shooting at us. We're the proletariat.
Good work. But he doesn't give anything away. He probably figures we're listening in.
I don't think so. I've provoked him 1,000 times. We take the train together, almost every time. And he's never uttered one word against the socialist government of this country. He's not interested in politics. Perhaps, and I say this with all due respect, comrade, you're wrong.
I'm not wrong, Zelensky. I want this man. And you're going to give me the means to do it. Is that clear?
Are you telling me that I have to make things up?
So what if I am? What if I did?
Then I would make some things up.
Who's in charge of the UB in Poznan?
Comrade Maciek.
Tell him I want to talk to him. You can go now.
Radio Free Europe. Today, June 28th at 4 p.m., the 2nd Army Corps has entered Poznan. The strike began early this morning at 6 a.m. as workers left the Cegielski factory, marching towards the center of the city. As time passed, workers from other factories joined the dissenters, together with passers-by and residents of the city.
Are you Novak?
Yes, I am. And who might you be, comrade? I don't think we have been introduced.
I'm Piotr. My mom said I could come here only if I stayed close to you.
Ah, so you are Piotr, Magda's son.
I'm glad she fell in love with you. It's no fun seeing your own mother so sad and lonely.
Your mother's a strong and beautiful woman.
And she's lucky to have a son like you. Take this.
Demonstrators headed for the Unified Workers' Party headquarters. Others went along Malinsky Street towards the central prison and beyond to the Office of Public Security. At 10:15 a.m., a group of dissenters entered the regional courthouse and the county attorney's office.
The demonstration must disperse immediately. Move out. Leave the premises or we will use force.
Go back home. Go on.
I'm staying with you.
I told you to get out of here.
The number of workers killed, it seems, has reached 100, plus several hundred wounded.
My father works there. I'm sure he was with the strikers.
What's your father's name?
Ignacy.
Hello? It's Wojtyła. Call Monsignor Górka, St. Peter and Paul's in Poznań. See what you can find out about Ignacy Pomorski. And check on Maciej Nowak and Witold Brożek too. Yes. Thank you. We'll know shortly.
I know where we can find some guns! Quiet! Quiet! Sit down.
You know, during the Nazi period, I happened to find myself next to the wisest man I had ever met. We were in a dark room, hanging on between life and death. And this wise man wasn't a philosopher. He was a tailor. And he said to me, "We will win with love, not with guns." And I answered, "How can you say that with the Nazis in our country?" And he said, "The Nazis will disappear because evil devours itself. But if love doesn't win out, the Nazis will just come back under a different name." And now you want to face down tanks with rifles? You want to give your lives? I don't think you should be giving your lives today. You should be showing your love of life instead. A love they don't know about. You have to bear witness to the sacred dignity of every life. Demonstrate peacefully. Show your pain, show your disappointment. Shout out your refusal of violence. Show your love. Show your respect for life. Excuse me.
I have to know.
Wojtyła speaking, yes? He's all right.
It's all right. It's all right. What did they tell you?
A classmate of yours, Witold Brożek, was killed. It's hard to forgive a crime like this. And a friend of mine was wounded. But I repeat, do not provoke them. That's exactly what they expect you to do. They won't be afraid of your guns, but they will be afraid of your words.
You look well. 3 years in prison haven't weakened you.
There were 17 of us in my seminary class. 12 of them ended up in a concentration camp. Do you really think I would feel cramped in this lovely place? I could live here until the day I die. I have faith, a strength you know nothing about.
How would you like to go abroad? I don't know. What about Italy or the Riviera?
My place is in my cathedral or in prison.
You can go back to your cathedral. The government has changed. Comrade Gumulka is in power now and thinks that you can take up your duties again.
You fired on the workers. You used tanks against people in Hungary. Is that what communism is?
I think it's intolerable that they ended up firing on workers, even if they were agitators. And what I find even more intolerable is the failure of so many government plans.
Are you saying all this to protect your career?
You can think of me as an enemy, but not as a worm. Whether you like it or not, the two of us are alike. We are believers.
The fact remains that people demonstrating peacefully scare you. You release the head of the Polish church to have an alibi. You're making a very grave mistake. Governments might change and ease up. But I am and always will be against you. Don't think that letting me out will influence my soul in any way.
Nobody wants to buy your soul. We want to achieve communism, carrying it out with all the changes needed, with or without the backing of the church.
How do I manage to be so late all the time?
From the Secretary of the Vatican State to the Primate of Poland, Cardinal Stefan Wyszynski. His Holiness, upon the solicitation of the Archbishop Monsignor Baziak, names Karol Wojtyła, Auxiliary Bishop of the city of Krakow. He was singled out for his keen intellect, devotion, and constant dedication, his interior strength and persuasive oratory, his cultivation of philosophy and the social sciences, his following as a teacher, and his influence among the young.
Excuse me, are you going to Olsztynek? I have to catch a train to Warsaw. Brilliant. Thank you.
Sacks of flour.
It was the quickest way I could find.
Were you in Masuria to carry out your spiritual exercises?
No, I was with the group of my students who were kayaking.
Yes. I've heard you were perhaps a little bit too athletic. I was curious to meet you. Do you know why I sent for you?
No, Your Eminence.
Your Archbishop, Monsignor Baziak, has obtained your appointment as Bishop of Krakow from the Pope.
I am far too young.
That's a weakness you will get rid of soon. I ask you not to oppose the Holy Father's will.
I accept.
Well then, let's go and get something to eat.
Karol! Don't let anyone get to you!
He wouldn't tell me his name. He seems very nervous. Maybe we ought to call the police.
No, you're not going to call the police. It's Novak. No, you may go, sister. Everything's fine. Just fine. Novak, did you really think I wouldn't recognize that voice of yours in the cathedral?
So my minor friend is a bishop.
How is your arm?
It's all right. They tried to kill old Novak, and when I got up, they tried to beat me to a pulp.
What are you doing?
They are listening to us. I know they are. They're everywhere. I looked for the microphones. I couldn't find them.
No.
But I'm sure they're here.
No.
I'm sure they're here.
Times have changed. We don't live under terror anymore.
Nothing has changed, Karol. There are illusions of change. Illusions of freedom. That might be enough for the intellectuals, but not for me. Not for the peasants. Not for the workers.
Come, sit down. Sit down. Disappointments, persecutions, violence. They are trying to hurt us. They don't want us to smile anymore. But you can't let them rob you of your strength, or your dreams, or your love. Never. Remember that. See? I'm talking to you about God without naming him.
I thought I just met the child. And they killed him right in front of my eyes.
Who was?
Piotr. Magda's son. He was only 12. Now she doesn't love me anymore because I wasn't able to save her child.
I became a priest to help people ease their pain. But I feel guilty for what I can't do. Talk to your Magda. Hold her tight. Give her the kisses her son can't give her anymore.
Excuse me. You told me you had an important appointment at 4 o'clock.
What time is it?
4 o'clock.
Good Lord. I'm late for an appointment at the Communist Party headquarters.
But why are you taking off your...
So they understand I'm not going there to provoke them.
But no Polish bishop has ever set foot in the Communist Party headquarters.
There's always a first time.
How does this sound? We'll divide up the building. 2 floors for your seminary and 2 floors for us.
Half a seminary is better than no seminary at all, so I thank you.
Don't thank me. The party says you're open to dialogue. They don't see you as a fanatic, a reactionary. That's exactly what they fear, Karol. I don't like that optimistic smile of yours.
Still, all things considered, we both have the same goal in life. The happiness of man.
Of course, happiness. You're an actor, weren't you? Your assurance, your serenity, your confidence. Are you acting? There is not a lot to be happy about in this world. And don't give me any of that faith talk.
I didn't mention faith. I was asking you to consider happiness.
Faith is superstitious madness.
Madness which comes from God is so much more beautiful than wisdom of human origin. That's not from the Bible, it's Plato, as you well know, the founder of reason and politics in the West.
We've said all there is to say. You get half of your seminary back. You have my word. You may leave now. Is there something else?
Nova Huta. The 120,000 people living there are waiting for a church to be built.
Nowa Huta is a new city in the new Poland, created for the new man. A man who doesn't need God anymore. And you want to build a church there?
As bishop, I have the right to carry this with me. I'm not allowed to hand it around, but please don't have me arrested if I give it to you as a present. That's the Gospel according to Matthew. You might want to read the Sermon on the Mount, chapter 5. There's material for your intelligence and for your sensitivity. Who amongst you will give a stone to the son who asks for bread? Good day.
You entered the devil's house and you negotiated with him. We do not negotiate with the Communist Party. We do not set foot in their headquarters. And if you have anything to discuss with the political authorities, you must do so with the consent of the man who is, until proven otherwise, the primate of Poland and your immediate superior.
You're right, Eminence. I should have asked you first. I didn't mean any disrespect. I'm sorry. It won't happen again.
Good. In any case, you managed to get us half a seminary. Is that right? The man you dealt with would line us all up against the wall given the occasion. And you got us half a seminary. Congratulations. How did you manage to do that?
Would you bless me, Father?
Karol, I know you're now in Rome. I'm writing with the news that our family has been blessed with the arrival of little Jan.
Mr. Kowalski, if you have a second.
Sure.
But destiny was lying in wait, ready to strike us at the very moment we were most vulnerable.
Have a seat. I knew there was something wrong. Your wife was having breathing problems and repeated attacks of coughing during and after delivery. So I ran some tests, but I wasn't expecting this. That shadow on the right lung, unfortunately, is a tumor that has developed metastases. I'm sorry.
How long?
3 or 4 months.
We have faith, of course, but when God abandons you, it's difficult. It's atrocious, Karol. I write through tears because I'm alone. When she's present, I smile. I've decided to tell her nothing, so she can have peace of mind for the time that's left. I'll keep the anguish and pain within me.
The opening of the first session of the Council is crowned by the placement of the Holy Gospel. As in 20 preceding ecumenical councils, it shall take the place of honor, followed by the ensuing working sessions.
Man is a unique being. He lives in the material world, but harbors deep spiritual surges. He's a mystery to himself and to others. Now the Church grows less and less efficient. The Church can no longer show itself to the world draped in the archaic Western culture. We mustn't be standing over the world, lecturing it and asking for obedience. Now the Church has to walk with the world. Men are looking for the truth. We must find solutions to the difficult problems of life with them. We must face the despair of human existence in these times of ours. With this in mind, the layman has to be in the center of church life.
I denounce every form of clerical mentality as an error.
Yes, in the new neighborhood of Nova Huta.
But that's a working class neighborhood. You're a teacher. Why do you want to go and live there?
Because the government won't let them build a church there.
You're right. That's a great reason.
You wretch. In my free time between classes, I can go and visit families. The farmers have been forced to become workers, to live in beehive apartments. And their habits, their traditions have been totally ignored. These families are falling apart. There is drunkenness, women and children being battered. There's so much bitterness.
You're too beautiful to have that sad look in your eyes.
You love me at least half as much as I love you. Adam.
Yes.
Did you hear what I asked you?
Of course I did.
And?
The sweet love of a woman overcomes all. I don't remember who wrote that. The waiter says it too. Here we are. 3rd floor, door on the right.
But where are you going?
I completely forgot. I have to see someone. Someone who can help me to get a job at the university. There's some tea. Put the kettle on. I'll be right back. 3rd floor, door on the right. I've listened to thousands of confessions, and I got a pretty depressing picture of human despair. I have to tell you, Wojtyła Stamina is scary. He helps people, encourages them, talks and talks, but there's not one word you could use against him. Please, let me do something more useful.
Negative. You're part of his group and you're going to keep on watching him. Adam! Did Wojtyła get to you? Or was it that Catholic girl's nice ass? I know that the worker element in Nova Huta is involved in subversive activities. And I'm convinced that Wojtyła is with them. So they better watch out if that project fails.
Hey, Derek. You stand guard. We don't want them coming by for control. Okay. St. Paul says, I rejoice in infirmities, in insults, in needs, in persecutions, in suffering. For when I am weak, that is when I am strong.
They converted you, Novak?
Never. But it is a truth, like the man who told me these words claimed.
St. Paul?
Wojtyła.
A bishop?
And a miner.
Long live our socialist homeland!
Kurde!
A well-timed heart attack eliminated Archbishop of Krakow.
The list of candidates signed by Wyszynski.
I turned them all down. Nothing but a bunch of fanatical anti-Marxists.
Do you want me to give you a name?
We already have the name. A name that Wyszynski didn't put on the list. Wojtyła.
You're making a mistake. Wojtyła must be stopped.
I have been informed that the man obsesses you. Where is the problem?
That man has an inner strength that no other priest in Poland has, including Wyszynski. A strength capable of drawing the end to him and working against him.
A man who talks about prayer and love? Wojtyła isn't involved in any anti-government activities, and he lacks organizational and leadership skills. And then tradition dictates that Krakow's archbishop be a nobleman, and we are backing a proletarian.
Wojtyła is our real enemy.
Our enemy is Wyszynski. He's the patriot, the union activist, the symbol for the masses. We must support Wojtyła against Wyszynski.
You're making a tragic error. The government authorizes Wojtyła's name.
That name wasn't on my list.
I know.
We agreed that the government could approve, but not impose.
This is what the government has decided. I don't agree with the government either, if that's any consolation to you. The real issue here is just between you and me. Let's say Wojtyła wasn't on your list because either you didn't want him or you wanted him, and now this was just a way of getting him nominated.
Where do I sign?
Lord, you who challenges man so that man can find the strength to challenge fate. Help me to be able to take action. Help me to relive the cross every day. Help me to walk along a path that wasn't mine. Help me to deal with politicians. Help me to help all those who need it.
Are you asleep? What are you dreaming about? I feel sorry for you. I really do. You're fooling yourself. If you think you're happy, you're fooling yourself if you think that a God who doesn't exist cares about the world. You're fooling yourself if you think that I can love you. You want to marry me. You want children. I will never do that. And I will never be more lonely.
How did you get in?
You should keep your door closed.
I'm not afraid. Besides, you came in, not some thief. What's wrong?
Nothing.
You look unhappy. Nobody should be unhappy on Christmas Eve.
Unhappiness doesn't necessarily follow the calendar.
I promise you I can teach you how to be happy. Marry me, and I'll make you feel how wonderful it is to live. How wonderful it is to be in harmony with yourself. Inner peace isn't just for the simple-minded. You can find it too, if you just let yourself be loved. Tonight, the history of Nova Huta is going to change. Wojtyła is going to say the Mass, at the feet of the Great Cross, made by the workers.
What are you talking about?
Yes. Shh.
What's wrong, Karol? Don't you have anything to do on Christmas Eve?
I figured out what they've been cooking up at Nova Huta. But it might be too late.
This assembly has not been authorized. You will clear the area immediately. Clear the area!
What are you doing? Stop this! Stop it!
You can't keep us from having to cross! The Polish! So are you!
Stop it! We came here to pray! We came here to pray. You, the workers of Nova Huta, have put up this cross where you want to build a new church. Your city was supposed to be a city without God, but your will has prevailed. Let this be a lesson.
Who is in charge here?
Captain Wukowski.
Take me to him.
Follow me.
My name is Gorbek, Field Department. I'm ordering you to disperse this mob.
Comrade Kishko.
Give me that.
Give me that! Your cross is the symbol of the sacrifice that redeemed men, that gives a new sense to life, that teaches us to love and to respect life.
This man is defying us. He has to be stopped. If these people aren't afraid of us anymore, it's all over. Do you understand that or not?
We are the citizens of our country, the citizens of our city, but we are also the people of God. We will continue to demand our rights. Religious freedom is the highest expression of human dignity. To stifle it is a crime. This rock was given to me in Rome by Paul VI. For you, the workers of Nova Huta, it comes from St. Peter's Cathedral. And on this rock, we will build our church.
Tell your men to take action.
I give the orders around here.
Well, then give your orders. Right now. Silence that man. I told you to silence Wojtyła.
Listen. I've had about enough of you.
Shut up!
Kambida, keep still. You have to trust in the strength of hope. You have to trust in love, which is stronger than death. You must never lose faith. You must not lose heart. You must not get discouraged. Never lose the freedom of mind with which Christ makes men free. I am your bishop, and I will be with you every day until the end of my days. I bless you. Benedicat vos, omnipotens Deus, Pater et Filius et Spiritus Sanctus.
Adam.
You are right, Karol. Hope, prayer, and love, that hidden strength within us, can prevail over evil.
Do you remember the tumor? Here, look at this. It disappeared. Well, it happens sometimes. You know, even for us doctors, our body is more a mystery than a certainty. You're a lucky family.
Thank you. I'm frightened. Yes, frightened like he who has been blessed. I can't call it a miracle. For me, the word is both vague and misleading. A mystery, said the doctor, be it for science or the faith. I know you asked Padre Pio to intercede for us. Thank you for his prayers. Thanks to an inscrutable destiny that gave Hanya the strength to heal and made me, with no special merit, a privileged and happy man.
What are you doing? Eva, what's wrong with you?
You're mine. You're mine forever.
Will you tell me what's going on?
Nothing. I love you.
Been spying on you. Yes. I'm a spy. I was trained for this. I planted microphones. I listened to your confessions. I read your letters. I was paid for doing this. And I'm just one of many. I always knew it was useless. And even though I hated you, words slipped inside of me. Like water through a crack. You speak of love. Such a sick word. Love for despicable human beings.
You are not despicable. The pain inside you, and your